grooming event. He said, it's not a goddamn grooming event, you monster. Okay, so what is a drag queen? A drag queen is someone who dresses in a way you don't like. Are you insane? Are you insane? Why do you care how they dress? Why do you care? It has nothing to do with kids.
You should go.
Maybe we don't like the way you goddamn dress with your stupid dumb beanie.
Tim Pool said something on his show on Timcast that absolutely set off a meltdown between Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur here live on the Young Turks. Let's get into this clip here from the Young Turks where Tim Pool sets off these woke idiots Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian, who is she's kind of coming over to the light side a little bit here and there, and I think she's definitely leaving the Young Turks after a while. Although I do think she owns a percentage of the Young Turks, so I don't know if she'll actually leave, but everything else points towards her leaving the Young Turks soon. Anyway, let's get into this clip here of Tim Pool destroying the woke left and setting off an absolute meltdown between Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian here live on the Young Turks.
So, okay, here comes the right wing. Kurt Schlichter on Twitter. I don't think we have to tolerate pedophiles because some a-hole shot up a gay bar. Frankly, a lot of people trying to convince us we need to tolerate pedophiles seem to be happy to use any excuse to silence our opposition.
I'm sure he had that take when it came to getting Roy Moore elected in the Senate in Alabama.
No,
right?
Look, the right wing loves pedophiles.
They love it.
And I'll explain that in a second.
What? Dude, that's crazy. You can't be saying that on my YouTube channel, bro. That's a crazy statement to say. I'm actually tongue-tied, speechless, because the right wing are the people who are very passionately trying to protect children in schools from being taught certain things that some would say, not me, of course, some would say is basically grooming kids. I'm not obviously saying that. That's what right wingers say, right? I'm completely neutral on this thing. You guys know I've gotten in trouble for saying things along these lines in the past, so I have to be a little bit careful. But the right wing are the ones that are very adamant on protecting children, and the right wing were the ones that are pushing movies like Sound of Freedom and trying to get all that stuff exposed. And the right wing are the people who have all the YouTube channels that are going after these people who are talking to children and stuff like that. That's a crazy statement to make, that right wingers love those people. That is a wild statement. Let's see what else he has to say here.
So then Tim Pool responds, because there's no end to the depravity of right wing media. He says we shouldn't tolerate grooming kids. Club Q had a grooming event.
How is it a grooming event? It's a drag show at a mind your own goddamn business. There's no kids there. Consenting adults can do whatever the hell they please. They don't need your goddamn permission. Oh, do we need permission from grifters now to enjoy our adult lives? Is that what we need? I need permission from Beanie Boy Tim Pool to go to a drag show?
And by the way,
shut up and sit down, Tim. How about that? How about that? Always involved in everyone's personal life and personal business. Didn't say a peep when it came to Roy Moore. Not a peep, because it's all about political power. It's all about getting your guys elected into Congress. And don't give me any of that garbage about how, no, I'm not on the right. I'm not on the right. I just spew right-wing propaganda all day and all night. I'm not on the right. Shut up and sit down.
That. I'm not debating that. He's a monstrous right winger. He's a terrible, terrible person. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, look, on jaywalking, I'm progressive, but I think we should all gay people are pedophiles and groomers, and we should all attack them and just do all these horrible things so
I haven't seen Ana and Cenk react to somebody like this other than Donald Trump ever. This is crazy. Dude, Tim Pool might be more rent-free in Cenk's and Anna's head than even Donald Trump is. I don't think Tim Pool ever said that every single gay person is a groomer or anything like this. I think Tim Pool is just saying that these drag shows and stuff, they're kind of sick, and I don't understand why Ana Kasparian and these people who don't participate in that are so adamant about defending it. It's like, even if there's no children present, like, it's just kind of weird, like, it's just not kind of weird. It's very weird to have that even happening in society. I think it'd be better, it'd be a less degenerate society. And I think it's not just like a degenerate act. I think it is degenerative for the overall society that we're living in. And I mean, it's pretty obvious that it is, right? It's not a crazy statement. Society's going downhill. I think stuff like that plays a big part in it. So I don't know why someone would defend all of that stuff so staunchly like that whenever you're not someone who participates in that stuff like Ana Kasparian. It's not. I would agree with Tim Pool.
We can goad our lunatic audience. And yes, Tim Pool, Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, you all have lunatics in your audience and you weaponize them and you know it. I mean, look at him. I'll finish the tweet to be fair. How do we prevent the violence and stop the he says? Oh, in other words, well, I didn't quite like the way he murdered all those people, but hey, I really like the fact that he attacked these people that I'm calling groomers based on nothing. I mean, he said it, Club Q had a grooming event. He said, it's not a goddamn event, you monster. Okay, so what is a drag queen? A drag queen is someone who dresses in a way you don't like. Are you insane? Are you insane? Why do you care how they dress? Why do you care? It has nothing to do with kids.
You should go.
Maybe we don't like the way you goddamn dress with your stupid dumb beanie. Okay,
dude, this is bad, man. This is embarrassing. I think it's not really about the way they dress. Like that's not really it. It's like what happens at drag shows. It's just weird. I don't know how else to put it without going too explicit. It's just strange that those people exist. And like, I would rather it not exist. You know, I'm not going to say that we should have laws in place to where they don't exist, but like, it would be better off for everyone, I think, even themselves, because they're obviously mentally ill if you're doing stuff like that, to just not have it exist. So yeah, maybe Tim Pool, I know he baits a lot on Twitter. So it was probably Tim Pool just baiting people, but he was probably wrong to call them like groomers, but regardless, it should probably get out of here. You know, it probably should get X'd out of society.
Okay, so what is it? Oh, should we call you? And then say, oh, I know somebody should do something to stop Tim Pool. He's wearing a beanie. He's a monster. He probably because of his stupid beanie. Okay, we don't do that because unlike you, we're not trying to get people killed. Unlike you, we're not monsters who are constantly attacking people who are gay and in the LGBTQ community. I'm sick of these right wingers. Look at it, they're almost celebrating it. I mean, he nearly brought goddamn pom-poms to the shooting.
Listen, if you have problems with men dressing as women or men dressing in drag, you know, first thing I would do as a right winger is I'd clean my own room, okay? Why don't you go have a conversation with Steven Crowder, who never misses an opportunity to dress as a woman, which I have no problem with, but clearly he has an affinity for it. And you guys seem to think anyone who dresses in drag is somehow a groomer. So why don't you go have a conversation with your groomer buddy, Steven Crowder?
That's ridiculous. Steven Crowder, and I don't understand what Steven Crowder has to do with Tim Pool in the first place, but if Ana Kasparian wants to bring him up, Steven Crowder does a comedy show. Like he's said this, Steven Crowder has said this a million times. Tim Pool does a serious news-based politics culture show. Steven Crowder does a show, like he was a comedian before, I'm pretty sure. He was either an actor or a comedian, and he wants to do a comedy show. It's a comedy-centric show that just happens to also talk about the ridiculousness happening in the world, and he's also a right-winger. So like, first and foremost, Steven Crowder does a comedy show. And in that comedy show, they like to dress up in costumes and stuff, satirically. It's satire. These people who are doing this drag show stuff, there's no satire involved. It's just weird. Like they genuinely think that's fun to them, and that's mental illness, very obviously. So it's completely different. Number one, I don't know what the hell Steven Crowder has to do with Tim Pool, and number two, Steven Crowder does a comedy show. It's satire.
But the right wing are disproportionately. So let's be super clear. I mean, let's talk about what do we know about the giant cases of in this country. Number one is Catholic priests, one of the most conservative professions in America. Right wingers, Republicans, Catholic priests, and they're always constantly talking about, oh yeah, a Catholic priest said that Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden couldn't have communion. Catholic priests are the best, they say. And meanwhile, they're the worst in the entire country.
And the Boy Scouts, by the way.
Boy Scouts,
which
they
is
love the Boy Scouts.
Right wing compared to the Girl Scouts.
Nests of vipers and okay? And the right wing's like, yes, I love how the little kids like that. Go.
All right, we're cutting it off there. God, dude, this guy's trying to get me banned, dude. Like, how many times are you gonna say the word? Jeez. Let me know in the comments what you think about this ridiculous meltdown from Cenk Uygur about what Tim Pool had to say. That was most likely a bait tweet. And this guy just, I've never seen him like this. This is probably the craziest meltdown that I have seen from Cenk ever. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole meltdown here from Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur over what Tim Pool had to say and the destruction that Tim Pool caused in these idiots' minds. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole the Young Turks situation.